What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I have not released this car to the channel yet. This is a 2006 BMW M5 with a S80 V and a SMG transmission. I had one of these for past couple years, and they got pretty low in price a couple years ago, sometimes $7,000, $8,000. And right around COVID with all the other cars, really kind of jumped up in price. I came across this car that was for sale by a shop who had done some work to it. So the story goes, he brought in the M5 because there was a drivetrain malfunction. He couldn't get it into gear or anything. After they got finished doing a new SMG pump, new SMG clutch and flywheel, and new rod bearings, the customer then told them, hey, I can't pay for this. Ended up negotiating to turn in the car for exchange of the invoice. And a couple months went by. I think they were waiting to actually get the title from the guy. And then the shop wanted to sell the car for $9,000. It has 136,000 miles. Now it has rod bearings, new SMG pump, new flywheel, new clutch. And I think about 2 years ago, it got a brand new SMG transmission from the same shop, which was another $9,000 invoice. This one's got a zip tie. No, who touched this car? Whose car was this? Identify yourself. Crazy. So I've driven it about 1,000 miles so far. Haven't had any serious issues, but almost immediately after I got it, I was looking for what everyone else wants on these cars, an exhaust. So I went straight to Alibaba. From what I've seen, a lot of the exhausts that they sell for these cars are single X pipe, but I had seen one video of a custom double X pipe and it sounded insane, way different than a single X pipe. So I spoke to the manufacturer. They managed to do a double X pipe with a valve muffler, which is also very important because I don't want this car to be obnoxiously loud all the time. We're gonna tear this open. Hopefully all arrived well, and we will get the M5 up in the air. All right, so if you guys have seen any of my other videos, I have bought a lot of stuff from Alibaba. Probably 80% of the companies in the US sell stuff straight from Alibaba, so you might as well buy from them, save some money. Maybe took a little bit of time, but something like this took 2 weeks to manufacture and about 2 weeks to ship. So not bad, maybe a month after you really ordered it, but you save $2,000, $3,000 sometimes. So well worth it. Hopefully it fits well. If you like what it sounds like at the end, send me an email or comment below and maybe get together and do a group buy. For not a lot of people in this market, so we'll see what we can do. So like I said, this is a valved muffler, so also comes with the vacuum canister and all that to adjust the valve in the back. So if you've seen this remote somewhere, looks familiar, just like all the other multi-$1,000 exhausts. It's packed very well. All right, got everything out. The packaging came super well packed, double, triple bubble wrap, and everything feels really good. There's no obvious lazy craftsmanship, we'll call it. For the most part, it looks as any other exhaust you would get for triple the price, really. You get a custom exhaust, obviously a little different, but the material feels really good. All the clamps there, all the tips came, the controller, everything. So hopefully isn't going to be too difficult to pull out the stock one, and then we'll get this one installed and see how it sounds. Essentially, these two Torx, which are an E12 to the header, and this is after the cat, so shouldn't need to do any sort of coating. And then all the way to the back, there's these 4 13s that do clamps. This brace is held in by 13, and then the rear hangers held on by 13s too. So just a bunch of 13 bolts and hangers, and it should come out, and it Torx. So in this box, you get a vacuum controller. We have a cigarette lighter power port, 2 remotes, and some vacuum line that's over there. This pretty much activates the valves when they're connected through the vacuum line to stay open or stay closed, and then hold vacuum when they are open. This gets hooked to there. This is a little antenna for the remotes. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna put this right in the center here. Look at that. So I think I'm gonna put that there. So I think I'm gonna route the cigarette port from back here. I thought maybe I kind of want to cut a little slit in the carpet and route it under, then pick it up from here, and then make my way to that hole, which is actually right there. I don't know, I guess the right way to do it is to lift the center console and kind of like tuck it under and then cut. But I don't know. I mean, if I cut here, it's still going to be as ugly as having a whole connector here. So I don't know. I'm going to mess with that. But other than that, the exhaust is fully on. Except for just the tips. Every connector has a couple inches of play, so it's pretty nice to have. And I can make them even if I want to. So from here, we'll have that there. And then I have this vacuum port. You take off your battery bracket here. There's a small hole, at least in mine, at this corner that routes right under and goes right here. So I'm gonna route that there, and then I think I'm gonna tee off now to that vacuum port and then to the other one, and obviously tuck it here and all that. So I'm gonna get that going, and then we'll see how it all works together. Alright guys, it's actually the next day. I ran into some issues last night where I could not get any of the clamps to fully clamp, and the culprit are the bolts that are provided. Nothing really about this kit feels cheap besides these bolts. Like, the clamps are welded, they're not like universal style clamp, they fit literally perfectly, but the clamps are almost too strong compared to how cheap the bolt is. So when I went to go tighten them fully, went to go loosen them to see if I can put some gasket maker or something, and 6 of the 10 or something all got cross-threaded trying to loosen them. So what I recommend is getting some M10 bolt replacements. So let me show you underneath. I literally had leaks at every single part. So I ended up putting some gasket maker on this one with a brand new OEM gasket. No more leaks there. First X clamps, no leaks. Also got some extra there, but rubs off if needed. I guess the one issue I've been running into is this double X sits very low. So like it just barely clears. I ended up bending the mounts that are on here a little bit lower so it can actually sit on here. I'm going to talk with them to see about putting this a little higher, but they also had said that this brace is supposed to be on the top, but when I try that, it hits the diff here. So I don't know if they're getting a little bit confused, but I put the bracket brace facing down and everything really lines up and clears pretty good. Clears here, goes right around the diff perfectly. Same thing on this side. And again to these clamps. Now I had some weird mounts for this exhaust bracket. They're kind of just straight. I don't need like an L bracket to kind of make it sit a little bit higher. Tested the vacuum ports and all that. Everything works as it should. Same thing. So maybe one more hanger to get it to sit a little bit higher would be nice. But for now, it definitely does a job. All right, so overall, I think this exhaust came out great. For the price, you can't beat it. Like you guys saw in the video, didn't really have any serious issues. Everything felt great besides the bolts that were supplied, and I think it sounds amazing. I think the double X pipe on the V10s sound really good. I don't really like them on the E60 V10s. I still have to adjust the tips a little bit. This side is a little bit lower, but not too bad, some fine adjustments, and overall can't complain. It's been about 600 miles since I last installed it. Went over some of the bolts and everything was tight, and yeah, everything's worked well. The valves work every time I click it. The remote works from a pretty good distance, and overall I really haven't had any issues. I think with the valves closed, it's super quiet, like perfect for everyday stuff. You won't annoy anyone. The cold start is, you know, it's a little loud, but nothing drastic. You know, I would say sports car loud for a cold start. And once you open the valves, it's completely different. So I like having that as an option. I never really liked just fully loud all the time. I guess that's a sign of me getting a little older, but I like having the muffler. This car before had a muffler delete, then had the factory cats and resonators, and that cold start is louder than straight pipe, double X pipe to a muffler with the valves closed. So overall, really happy with it. Hopefully you guys can hear the actual exhaust note through the camera. Tried my best to try a couple different audio settings and placements. If you guys like what you saw, consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and maybe checking out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching.